I guess I better turn the microphone on at some point. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to JACKOCAR. Welcome very much to Jackoball, the better brother or sister, depends on what gender you'd rather like it to be, of JACKOCAR. And, well, looking forward to this one. This will be the draw for the championship. EFL Championship coming up very shortly. Oh, by the way, just to help, because I know that Scott and Jacko are joining us from Valencia. Hola and bienvenidos a Jackoball, presente al campeonato de EFL. Mi nombre es Gareth y seré su anfitrión esta noche. And that is actually pretty well spoken. So I'm sure Ben Shaw's missus, even though she's Portuguese, will be able to correct me. But I think I was near about where we were. If you can hear me, make sure you do drop into the comments of the stream and let me know if I'm loud and clear. Should be fine, just me, so I don't need to worry about Yori shitting up his audio. I can hear myself back on the stream, so that is all good. So, but if you can hear me, do make sure that it is clear. If the audio is not too loud, I've turned it down a little bit. But what I'm going to do is the same thing as what I did last season. So quickly just run through what the plan is and look for the rules, the teams, the structure, how to do the transfers, and explain it for the guys that will be joining us for the first time. So a couple of the new guys. Jordan's very much correct. His translation is no one does want Leeds. You are very much correct. I mean, if there was any a team that just needed to go about our business, it could have been them. Good evening, Kaya. So, for those that are new, these are the rules we will be contesting over the next what will be after this week, because we've got this week off, but what will be 4 weeks in October. 4 Wednesday evenings, most likely. There will be occasions where you may need to play a game on a Tuesday or a Thursday, but they will be under exceptions, which you will have to check in with myself and with the guys that you are playing. But format will be 5 or 6 games per night. So it does move up, because obviously we're moving up from 20 teams to 23 teams, 22 teams I think it is overall. So yeah, 22 teams. So you may, the way that the fixtures generate, so you may remember some of the guys last season were saying, why have I only got 4, or why is he in a game 3 or game week 3 and why is he in a game week 4? Basically, because we've got an odd amount of fixtures, it will generate you to play a certain amount of games per week. So I've asked it to make it so you basically are guaranteed to play 5. But some weeks you'll play 5, some weeks you might play 6. So it will differ per person. So don't worry about game weeks. So the fact that you may only have 5 that week or 6 that week, it will be different for everyone. So that is the reason. So if you are confused once the fixtures are coming out, then it is because the fact that different people will have different games on different weeks. So sticking at 6 minutes per half. No cup once again to make sure we get through basically, and looking to end on the 23rd of October. Luckily, I'm due to have a baby on the 25th of October, so I wonder why we're trying to fit it all in between them. But as you saw a little bit earlier on, then we will be going back to a bit of a break. Let everyone switch off over the winter period and sweat some Formula One and get the new game, get the new FIFA as and when they want to, or EAFC I should say. And then we'll be back in February for season 4, 5 and 6, which will be the Club World Cup, which we'll see as we've gone on. The top 4 teams from each league we've done so far will go into a round robin, much like the Champions League that they've brought this season in. So it'll be a round robin style league with a knockout competition for probably the final 4, I'd imagine. Once that's completed, unsure. Depends on what everyone's enthusiasm's looking like. Maybe looking at doing this season's Champions League with this season's teams on FC25. But of course, all up to you guys. I will take on advice. I will take on suggestions. I will most likely ignore all of them, but I will nevertheless take them on and see what we can do moving forward. If you do genuinely have any suggestions of how you think it would run better or whatnot, do let me know. I'm not letting you play games whenever the fuck you want over the week. That's not going to happen. We are sticking to one evening if possible, per over the week, just because it makes it easier for me to do the numbers. For everyone to get together, this is literally the whole point of this, is for a social aspect. We're all meant to be in the same party. Yes, it's loud. Yes, it's sometimes it's off-putting. You have to mute people sometimes. However, trust me, it's been an absolute fucking blast. I think a lot of people have said that this is probably the upgrade of what JACKOCAR is doing at the moment with how shit F1 24 is. So I will get into the teams very shortly. Before that, you'll see the seedings, which most of you most likely have seen in the chat if you've been paying attention. If you're Kieran, welcome to this for the first time, because no doubt, even though you've seen it, you'll say you haven't, and you'll be presuming these are the seeds. But this is what we're looking at for the upcoming season. So, obviously, you will notice there is a star next to Oxford United. That was due to be for the champion of last season, which would have been Michel Goris, of course, two-time champion. He is bowing out. The Dutch guys are all crying about the fact that it's 6 games and not 5 games, so they've decided to take a season out. So, the star was going to be for Mr. Tony Kirkpatrick, sorry. I've actually decided to kibosh that, because it's Tony's first time, and we'll see how good he is. I know he's an absolute dirty sweat, and I know he's probably put thousands of game hours into FIFA. We'll find out. We'll see if he gets punished for it in Season 4 next year. However, Oxford United will go into Pot D. They will go to anyone that finished in Pot 4, which is the top 6 of last season, including Tony, who is being added in lieu of Michel. So that's how that's going to work. So you've got everyone that finished in the bottom 6 and a couple of new players. So we've got Scott joining us. We've got Jake O'Sullivan joining us. They are going into Pot A. And then obviously you've got the 6 that finish above them, 6 finish above them, and the top 6 will go in ascending order, which looks something a little like that. So you'll see we are missing 2 teams. So Corey pussied out, and we unfortunately couldn't fill Florian's space when he dropped out as well. So no worries. What we'll do is we are going to remove a random team from Pot 2 and Pot 3. So there will only be 5 to choose from those ones. So we'll do that at random once before we start the draw, so you'll know who you will not be able to get. Dates are going to be looking somewhat like this. So you see all the way through October. So 2nd, the 9th, the 16th and the 23rd. Obviously, we're sticking to the same format. So we'd like you to play your games starting from 7 PM. Please don't play them any earlier unless you desperately need to. Obviously there are exceptions where people may be away that week. If that is the case, do let me know, and also put, or at least put in the chat, that you might need to play it elsewhere or another time to everyone that you meant to be playing, because we have had issues with people not showing up and people waiting for them. So do let other people know if you're not able to make it. It's not a case of I can't be bothered tonight, or oh, I'm going out to the pub. We will only let you play games outside of Wednesday if it's a valid reason. You're going on holiday, you're at some sort of family event, etc, etc, etc. If you are a no-show, we will treat you like we did with Jamie Numbers last season, and we will allow you to play the games if you so wish. However, you will start with a 3-0 handicap. So the other team will start with basically a 3-0 head start. That is an incentive to be a no-show. If you no-show more than once, I'm going to kick you out the league. Don't care. So that is basically your punishment for no-showing. Any game, that is. That is, if you rage quit and leave one person waiting for you, they will get a 3-0. If you don't turn up, if you do turn up, they will start with a 3-0. So that's how that's going to work. All the way through to the end of October. Transfers. Why are you playing? You're not meant to be playing at all. That's a weird one. Right. Clearly, it wants me to watch the F1 the FIFA trailer. I did want to show you the how to do the transfers, because I imagine there's going to be some people that don't know how to do that. So if that's the case, I will. So I click through and trying to find where it is, but evidently it's not going to let me find it just yet. So never mind. What we'll do is we'll go over to my window and we'll go and do some of that instead. So, in fact, shut up for a second. Let's turn that down. We can only listen to the FIFA theme so many times. So do get chatting away in the comments. I know you're listening to me, but whilst I'm just sorting out the finalities of the generator, do let us know who you want, who you'd like to be playing with, who do you think's going to miss out. There are going to be new guys in, so if anyone is asking any questions, do help them out. Most of you have been here long enough to know the majority of the answers, and if you don't know the answers, I will make them up on the spot. So window capture is hopefully going to stop playing let's see if this works. We're going to have to find out because I can't see because I haven't plugged in my third screen. And we're going to go over to, we need to take a team out of pot B and pot C. So we'll do that first. We'll double check to make sure that you can actually see what I'm doing. Window capture would be nice. Not watching you and watching you. There we go. Right. Hopefully, it still says you're watching the FIFA trailer. If you are, do let me know, because I'm not fucking sure why. Because it's not even a source on this section. It's clearly overriding everything else I'm doing. So I'll actually, I'll take you out, and you can fuck off. And in your place can come something like, oh, can we just put, we put my goal versus Rico in that won, of course, won the Premier League goal of the season. So, God, that's interesting. That's not even bothering to show up. Anyway. Bear with me for these very brief seconds whilst I sort out this fucking thing. Stop. Fuck off. Why are you playing? Are you going to play if I go elsewhere? So why is it? It's playing there. What the fuck is it playing there for? Move this around. See, look, there's something underneath. There we go. Why are you underneath? There we go. What the fuck was that all about? Fucking EA. Trying to override all my stuff. Anyway, right, fuck it. Let's get into it. Yeah, I know. I was just seeing FIFA as well. I have no idea. I have no idea why that was overlaid over the top of this because it's not even a. It's not even a source. So fuck knows. Anyway, so let's get started by removing our first team from pot B. So we will know that you will not be able to play with Watford. So there will be no Watford in pot B, which Danny Quinn will be delighted about. So they are gone. And also, if you are in the chat and you are watching along, can you also do me a sort of, much like you did the last season, can you just write down, can someone just note in the comments as we pick them whose everyone's team is, so I don't have to go back and watch it. I can immediately go and sort everyone's fixtures. That would be very nice of you. And just to remove someone from pot C, so the guys that are in that one in pot 3 will not be playing with Preston North End, which I wouldn't recommend anyone go up to Preston. Absolute garbage town. So no Preston and no Watford. So that's how that one's going to work. So for the people that are watching along, namely Scott, who said he had no idea how this works, I will draw a name at random. Each name is within a certain pot, depending on where you finished last season or where you've been allocated, depending on how shit I think you are at the game. So if you're Jake O'Sullivan, if you're Scott, you've been added into the absolute trash bags tier. So you've gone in alongside the guys that did finish in the bottom 6 of last season. The likes of Michael KK, who actually plays a lot better than he does, get results. Robin, who somewhat just didn't turn up for about 8 games of last season, and then for some reason started scoring points and wins at the end of that. Kieran, who's just shit at every game he plays, and a few other absolute shitters in the bottom tier. We'll come to them as we go. You'll get allocated your team. Once that happens, I will then send in, probably, we're looking at either tomorrow evening, I think we're probably looking at, I will give you all your fixtures. I will also put it onto the Discord. If you need any information about your team, about your fixtures, about the people you're playing, it will all be on Discord. It's at the top of everything now. You cannot fucking miss it. It's literally above all of the F1 stuff, because Jacko agrees that Jackoball is superior at the moment. So it will be all on Discord as and when. So let's kick off. First one of the evening. I'm going to have to remind myself of where everyone is, but it will be starting us off. Oh, of course it's fucking him. It was almost me. Right. So, Jacko, he was telling me, and of course if you refer back to this, you'll see that Jacko is very much in pot 3. So pot 3 is this one here, which now includes Cardiff, QPR, Stoke, Bristol and Swansea. He did actually drop out of group 2, or pot 2 by a single goal because of a late goal on the last day of the season. So he has now got the chance of having Bristol, Stoke, QPR, Cardiff and Swansea. So Jacko, your season will be contested with Cardiff City Football Club. So the sheepshanker from Bournemouth goes home. He will take Cardiff to the races. So next up, I hope you also don't get the sound of this, because the sound of the spinning is very irritating. I've almost gone for myself instead, but no, we are going to Robin. So he is the first of the players within pot A, which will see the strongest teams. Those 3, of course, even though we're on FC24, we are using the currents. So we will expect you to do all the transfers, which you can find by going to transfermarket.com and having your squads up to date. So all the transfers in, all the transfers out. You can also add in loans that have come in as long as they're currently valid, which will make some teams stronger, some teams weaker. But for Robin, he is going to East Anglia and to Norwich City to play with the Canaries. So sending the German over to Norfolk. Next up, I've scrambled these names as much as possible as well, so I shouldn't just keep landing on the same people. Bazza, is it going to be? It is going to be Bazza. So Bazza making a return after a season out. He's decided to reload in the game. So he also goes into the pot A. So Bazza, who was enticed back by the absolute shithouses that are Leeds United. Probably the second, if not strongest team overall in the league. Probably looking at Burnley and Leeds being the 2 strongest teams. So Bazza heading to Yorkshire and goes to Leeds. Next up, it's still not going to be me. It is, however, going to be Danny Quinn. Finished last season with Wolfsburg in the top 6. Good season for Danny, but it does mean, of course, he now drops into the pot that does include Oxford United. And Danny Quinn will be going to, he wanted Sunderland, it's going to be Plymouth Argyle for Quinn. So that's a tough break there from Danny, because I think they're a tricky team to play with. So next up, we head to Jordan O'Sullivan. It's just going to be Sully. Sully, who also finished in the top 6 with Hoffenheim. Finished second, knocking me off of second on the last day of the season. And Sullivan, who will be looking for, everyone in this tier will be looking for that team, and I think he's going to get it. Sullivan gets Sunderland. Good pick there for what is A very strong midfield and defence, but FIFA ranks their attack to be absolute dog shit, which is why they're ranked so lowly. So Sunderland for Sullivan. And I'm sure he'll be delighted with that one. We're rolling around to Kieran. Played with Augsburg last season. I would say picked up a shock win over Owen, but Owen completely tried to tank and fall into the pot below, but didn't manage to do it. So Kieran did finish in the bottom 6. So a choice of Luton, West Brom, Burnley and Sheffield United. No really bad choices here. West Brom a very good all-round team. Burnley the strongest. Sheffield United the bottlers. And it's Sheffield United the ones for Kieran. So he plays in red once again. That leaves open Luton, the team that no one wants to play with. As we continue with 15 more to go. And Owen, who desperately tried to finish outside of the top 6, finished in 6th place. So we'll go into this one, which whilst still has Oxford, has me very nervous that I still haven't been picked. And I see as I've already played with Ipswich, it doesn't feel fair. It's going to be a promoted team for Owen. It's Derby County and the Rams for the Northern Irishman. So that feels about his level. And just genuinely just a boring team. A Derby always just come across as being a really boring team. I mean anywhere, that sort of like Midlandsy area. Derby, Nottingham, Mansfield, just full of boring people. Like Sullivan Lewis. But anyway, so next up, we have on the spin, Jaco Sullivan in his debut here in Jackoball. Well, Jakey boy, what can we get you? Burnley, West Brom, Luton. No really bad calls here. It's going to be Luton for Jake. So a relegated Premier League team, but still, of course, with some good players in the squad. And Jake, in his first appearance in Jackoball, heads to... They call themselves North London. They're not in London. It's barely... it's basically a crater in the ground. He's joined by Michael O'Kk. Michael, who finished bottom of the table last season, finished second bottom the season before that, but played much better last season, and is surely, with this season, and potentially a Burnley or a West Brom, looking at a much nicer result. And it should be the strongest team in the tier, in the Championship. It's Burnley. So a lovely pick there from Michael. He gets away with avoiding... Well, West Brom is still a very good team. But yeah, Burnley for OKK. Harry Collier? Or is it Jamie? It's got to be close. Just Harry Collier. Now, Harry, I just need to double check. I'm pretty sure did finish. Yes, he did. Finish in the top 6. So he will get one of Oxford, Portsmouth and Sheffield Wednesday. Please get Oxford. Come on. It's going to be Portsmouth. Oh, God, I'm going to get fucking Oxford again, aren't I? Portsmouth for Harry Collier. And I'm starting to sweat, because this is what happened in Season 1. Anyway, let's get this over, because I know I'm going to end up getting Oxford. Jamie Wright, the man that no-showed, got himself a heap of 3-0s, and the only person who actually managed to get a point out of it was me, of course. But Jamie finished with a choice of QPR, Stoke, Bristol and Swansea. And let's see where Jamie Wright's going to be heading. He's going to be going to North London. I think it's North London, QPR. North West London, around that sort of area. So yeah, Queen's Park for Jamie. So QPR, not a bad team to pick at all. Down to 10 to go. Jordan up next. And Jordan, who I'm just going to double check because I'm pretty sure it was same as Jamie. So Bristol City, Swansea City and Stoke. God, that's a dull ass. I mean, you probably want Bristol, maybe. Stoke just slow. I appreciate you, Kaya. By the way, thank you for all of this. This is very useful. Stoke for Jordan. Yeah, woohoo. So Jordan, in his last season before we moved to the new game, of course, he said he was going to take a season out, but we're not going to have one anymore on 24. We will be waiting until February. So he will take Stoke. This should be the most competitive season we've had so far, because all these teams are basically 3 stars, 3.5 stars. Right, a new player, Matt Redmore, who is joining us. It's not Matt Rosemond, it's Matt Redmore. Of course, you may know him from if you've raced in the Cup Series in previous seasons. He's going to be joining us from the realm of PC, so we will be doing some crossplay for this one. So it still works as normal. Don't worry, I've tested it. I've used it plenty of times. We'll be cross-playing, so Matt will be joining us. A big Hull City fan, but of course, it's pot 3 for him. So he will not be getting to play with Hull City. He will get Swansea or Bristol, and it looks as though it's going to be a close one, but just Bristol City for Matt. So. Not a bad one. I wouldn't say that's a too bad of a shout. Bristol City tend to always do quite well. So up next we have, finally, from the first pot, is Scott. So Scott, who did not want to play, he's been enticed in by the fact that Jacko kept on saying he was going to steal the rest of the stuff from inside his caravan. But he will be playing with West Brom. So West Bromwich Albion from the Black Country up in Birmingham will go to Scott. So that removes our first wheel. So we can go back to the fact that there's still Tony and me on the board, and I know I'm going to end up getting Oxford. MK Born, Mike Kelterborn up next. Had an absolutely topsy-turvy this last season compared to his one with Liverpool in the first season. He goes into this one, which hasn't been touched so far. So we've been waiting for all these guys in pot 2. But Mike, what do we see from him? My beloved are in here in the blue. You best not treat them badly if you get them. Oh, it's the Borough. We're sending the German up to the northern parts of England. It's Middlesbrough for Mike Kelterborn. We should get, in theory, quite a few of these guys from pot 2 now. Yes, we are. Declan Aglonley, he will be up next. He equally goes into pot 2. I assumed that he wasn't as bad as some of the other guys, but he will be with Hull City and getting Mould by the Tigers, mould by the Tigers. Oh, absolute dreadful chant that is. Right. So Deck going to Hull. Still some big names on this board. The likes of Ben Shaw, Tony, myself, Dustin. And that's about it. And Dustin in one of them. Another driver making their first appearance here. Millwall, Cov and Blackburn. 3 very strong teams in the Championship, if you look at the stats. And Dustin, you best not let me down or I'm going to break your legs. He's going to South East London. It's the new den in Bermondsey. It's Millwall for Dustin Rolko. 4 to go. And it's still not landing on me. Ben Harrott. He goes into Coventry or Blackburn. And I don't know which one. You probably want Coventry out of this. But we'll find out. Is it blue? Is it red? You can't really get a bad team out of these two. Blackburn Rovers for Ben Harrett. So, the Manchester area. Ben Shaw, myself, and Tony. 3 potential big hitters in this next league. Finally got myself, and watch this be fucking Oxford. I'm literally looking through my fingers. It's going to do it, isn't it? You absolute cunt. Oh! I did this to myself. I was told to give Tony Oxford, and I said, no. We'll let the gods decide. They're fair. So, luckily, luckily the stadium's just, 20 minutes down the road from me, so it's a close commute. It's good. It works out. It's fine. I'm from Grove. I'm from just down the road. It's fine. It's fine. Ben Shaw. I wonder where he's fucking going. I can tell you. Because we've got 3 more teams to go. Or 3 more people to go. Ben Shaw was in this one. And it's Swansea City for Ben. Which means we've got Tony left. He goes to Sheffield Wednesday. Okay, it's actually quite a solid team in the Championship. And does leave Coventry. Because I believe I added it in. Maybe I added in 1 extra. But if not, I'll go back and double check. But I'm pretty sure I've got everyone right. Cov will be left over if I do have a name that I've missed. Have I missed anyone? Pete! I've missed Pete! That's the name I missed. Pete gets Coventry. Of course he gets fucking Coventry. So yeah, so Peter, you are going. I do apologise, but it worked out in the end. You would have got Cov. Which I don't think he's going to be too bothered about. So let's just let's make him feel better. Tony, off you go. Pete, we'll spin your name, make you feel like you were part of this. Oh look! Oh, it's landed on Pedo Knighton. Where are you going? Oh, the shithole. It's Coventry. Although saying that, if anyone goes out on a night out in Coventry, the Casbah, fucking great night out. Fantastic night out. So, yeah, Pete goes to Coventry. So that's the draw. That's us done. Thank you, Kaya, for listing out all the teams. Don't worry about sending a picture. I will basically screenshot everything you sent, and I will get on the fixtures. The fixtures will look somewhat like this once they're all done. I'll scroll down to them. There we go. Much nicer, much cleaner. So you'll see that your games will be home or away. So this is for the guys that are new. You will have games where you host or games where you don't host. I would prefer it if you do try and stick to as many as possible, because there is, whilst not a supposed fact, there is home bias. The home team, when you're playing online, gets a boost. So we've tried to balance it out so you get as many home games as away games. So if you can host on your home games, that would be appreciated. If someone has dog shit internet like Jacko, he may ask you to host, which means that, if anything, you get the better deal out of it. But if you can stick to playing your homes and aways, then please do. I will get these completed, hopefully this evening, and uploaded to Discord. I'll also put them in the Twitter chat. And also, I'll be doing some more graphics for the upcoming season. Of course, as I said, you've got a week off, so feel free on Wednesday if you'd like to do some pre-season friendlies against each other. You've got your teams to do so. If you want to do so, just drop into the chat, let everyone know. I'm sure there will be people free that have nothing better to do with their time than play some of the FIFA game. Of course, the new one comes out next week, so those dirty sweats that will be playing on both 24 and 25, you are disgusting. Should be ashamed of yourself. Anyone that buys FIFA points should immediately have their hard drives checked. But for Jackoball, this is the final time on FC24 we'll be doing this season on the EFL Championship before we take a couple of months break until February to come back for the MLS, which will be quite a fun one because I've got a couple of different things planned for how we're going to do designated players in the MLS. So thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully that's all okay. Hopefully you understand everything. If you do have any questions, let me know. But if not, have a good evening. All that stuff. Go enjoy playing with your really mediocre average teams. And I will see you in about a week and a half's time for the first 5 or 6. Remember, 5 or 6. And if anyone asks me, and they haven't listened to the fact that you may play 5 or 6 games in an evening, I will punch or kick you in the face. But yeah. Oh, Inception, look, so many. Within. Anyway, so yeah, thanks guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will get this all sorted for you. Enjoy your